Hello, my name is Fong Tran from Group 3, and today I'm going to be presenting about culture of Malaysia. And we will be including social systems and structures, traditions, and religions. First, I'm going to walk through social system and structure. Malay is the majority of Malaysian, which have 50.4%, and the rest are Chinese and Indian Malaysia. Male is dominant, so top politician and business leader are all men. Because Malay is the majority of people, that's why other groups are considered inferior to Malay, and Malay people does have some privileges like tax exemption, and there are privileges residential school only offer for Malay. Second, I'm gonna go through traditions. The Jumat, also known as Good Friday, this is a day where all Malaysians do the prayer on Friday around noon. Students will end the school early, and worker they have option to go back to work, but mostly they choose not to go back to work. Male, their traditional clothes that you can see on the picture. Male would wear a cap and a long sleeve shirt, and woman would wear a tunic and a shawl to cover the head. Name separation of each group. So Chinese Malaysian using the surname in the name, but Malay people does not have surname. Instead, they use bin for men and binti for women as son of, daughter of. And Indian Malaysian does not have surname as well. Instead, they're using the father initial name in front of their name. Malay woman does not shake hand with male because of their religion. So they're not greeting by shaking hand. Third, I'm gonna walk through religion. Freedom of belief, but with few restriction. Muslim is the majority, but the country is also declared Muslim country. So if you want to convert into Muslim in a matter of minute, the government even give you allowance for that. They still celebrate Indian and Chinese national holiday, such as Chinese New Year and many more. Many other small religion faces discrimination because the head of politician are Muslim, and they believe the country are declared Muslim, so they have discrimination toward other belief.
In politics, we'll discuss political structure and political conditions. Malaysia is a constitutional monarchy and a democracy. It is strongly influenced by the British because it was under British rule. They have a king who's the head of state and a prime minister who's head of the government. Every 5 years, they have elections for both the king and the prime minister. They have three main political parties: the United Malays National Organization, the Malay and Chinese Association, and the Malayan Indian Congress. There have some leadership corruption since the prime minister is the leader of the political party with the majority of seats in parliament. In September 1988, Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim was arrested and charged for corruption. In July 2018, Prime Minister Najib Razaki was also charged and arrested for corruption. There's tensions between the Malays, Indians, and Chinese, since Indians and Chinese are the minorities, so they deal with a lot of discrimination. The Malays are the top of the social system, so they have more rights than anyone else in the country. The government has tolerated some criticism in the past, but there's laws restricting freedom of speech. People have been arrested and sent to prison for making offensive comments about Islam, Malays, and about their king. There's police brutality against people in custody. People have been dying of treatable illnesses in prisons because they don't receive the treatment or care. Refugees are arrested and sent to detention centers, which are unsanitary and overcrowded. There's a report about 100 bodies found in their camps, which are no one's held responsible for their deaths. They allow child marriage, but prohibit same-sex marriage. Transgender women have been targeted in the past. There's accounts of them being beaten and killed. Because of these unfair laws, they're demanding for new human rights reform.
So today I'm going to be talking about the economics of Malaysia. So we're going to be talking about the stability and inflation rate, income and wealth distribution, the employment conditions, standards of living, human conditions, and environmental conditions. So the current inflation rate as of 2020 is 2.08%. It will continue to stay stable in the upcoming years, and it's predicted to have a slight increase in the next upcoming years, just like it has in previous years. The income and wealth distribution of Malaysia. So Malays are the poorest group of people. The Chinese and Indian are considered to be the wealthiest. The economy has continued to rise after the Asian financial crisis, which took a huge toll on the country's economy. Majority of people are making $100,000 or less, and 0.2% of the population are making over $1 million. The minimum wage has increased this year to an RM of $1,200 per month, which is good for the people. So employment conditions, unemployment rate, and skilled laborers. The unemployment rate is 3.2%. The lowest it's ever been in history is 2.7%. The highest it's ever been is 4.5%, so it's right about in the middle there. As of 2018, there's 15.3 million people in the labor force. The high skill level employment is 27.2%, and majority of the population makes up semi-skilled workers, which come in at 60.4%. And the low skill employment is 12.4% of the population. So there's rural and urban standards of living in Malaysia. So in the rural parts, the Malaysian government makes sure that everyone has a roof over their head. So there's housing programs that will make sure that even low-income families have a place to live. The government likes to make sure that everyone has access to electricity and water. There's lots of forests in this part of the country. It has good air and water quality, making it safer for people to live rather than the urban parts of the city. And the crime has gone down in recent years, making families comfortable with living in these areas and raising their children. So in the urban parts or the city, there is lots of poverty. Usually these people have large families, are unemployed, have low education levels, and poor housing. It is also very expensive to live in the city. It is becoming extremely overcrowded, which is leading to these people having the highest health risks because they're not living in the cleanest or healthiest conditions. So the human conditions of Malaysia. It's going to be safe with little violence. The petty crime rates are high though, and pickpocketing is common, so tourists or just anyone in general should make sure to carry their bags in front of them. Tourists shouldn't visit during rainy months, October to February, because there's lots of landslides and flooding. The country is at high risk for terrorists though, and a few times tourists have been kidnapped. It is one of the wealthiest countries in Asia, but there's also lots of poverty in the urban parts. So there is lots of flooding, landslides, and forest fires in the environmental conditions. There is lots of air pollution because lots of people are just riding their bikes to and fro places. It's known to have cleaner air than most of the Asian countries, though, but the air can become very smoggy due to forest fires, which can lead to bad air quality.
So in conclusion, Malaysia is a multiracial country which triages any group, Malay, Chinese, and Indian. Malaysians share their culture value with each other, and each group are willing to accept and practice it in their daily.
Okay, some key takeaways from politics is that Malaysia is a constitutional monarchy led by an elected prime minister and king. Corrupt prime ministers have been arrested and charged for their crimes. Freedom of speech has restrictions when mentioning Malays, Muslims, and other government authorities, and people have demanded for new human rights reform because of police brutality, refuge imprisonment, and unfair laws.
So in conclusion, Malaysia has a good and stable economy. The government likes to make sure that everyone is safe and has a roof over their head no matter their income. The rural areas are much safer to live in than the urban areas or the city. The overall country is pretty safe with little violence, and the environmental conditions can occasionally be unsafe due to flooding, forest fires, or landslides. Thank you for watching.